Hi and a warm welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to be sowing two types of Erigeron seeds, Erigeron karvinskianus and Erigeron annuus. Now many of you will be familiar with Erigeron karvinskianus. It's commonly called the Mexican Fleabane, and it has this profusion of beautiful daisy-like flowers all through the summer. So it starts to flower around May and goes on flowering right up until the autumn, and this is just a profusion of beautiful flowers. We have this growing in our rockery, and we took some seed from that a couple of years ago and we sowed the seed last year and grew the plants on. So what I'm going to be doing today is I have some seed left and I want to make sure that the seed doesn't go out of date, because it's a really good plant and we can't have enough of this. We have some plants that we grew from seed last year, planted around one of our small miniature roses, and it's a white rose. And these plants, the aim of it is to have this lovely cushion of beautiful flowers surrounding the outside of the rose and trailing right around and down this beautiful stone container. So that's the idea. So we're really excited to see these bush out and produce this beautiful mound of all these beautiful flowers. They're also really attractive to pollinators. You often see the bees buzzing around all these little flowers, and it produces so many flowers for such a long time, and that's what makes this plant such a really welcome plant and such a widely grown variety. So I'm going to get sowing, and I'm going to sow these into these trays because there's no way I'll be able to station sow these because the seeds are so fine. We just love this plant. It's a plant that's really good if you've got well-drained soil in full sun. It's brilliant for rockeries. It's brilliant for like trailing over walls and bricks. It makes a wonderful trailing plant, softening all those hard edges. So we're onto the seed sowing bit, which is brilliant. So I do have some seeds left, and these seeds are literally like dust. So I'm actually going to sow what I've got left in the packet. So as you can see, these are really fine, and it's very difficult to try and choose an individual seed and station sow this. So this is the reason why I'm going to be putting it into one of these trays, and I'm just going to scatter a pinch and just nice and evenly place it over the top of the surface of the compost. This is quite a prolific self-seeder, so once you find a place that it's very happy in, you'll find you'll have seedlings popping up all over the place. But it's also a good idea to collect the seeds, because then you can also sow many more and have them exactly where you want them. So I'm just going to place a layer of vermiculite over the top, just covering those seeds over quite lightly. And I'm just going to press that down. And then just with a label, I'm just going to make sure I can tell which one's which. And I'll water this in a moment. The second variety of Erigeron I'm going to be sowing is Erigeron annuus, and as the name suggests, this is really grown as an annual. It can in some parts of the country be grown as a short-lived perennial as well. And we had this growing last year. We bought a plant from one of our favourite plant nurseries up in Halifax, and we brought this one back and we placed it in the border, and it was beautiful. This one grows at about 1.5 meters tall, so a lot taller than its cousin, which is Erigeron karvinskianus, which only grows to maybe 30 centimeters tall. This one is great for the border, really great for the middle or the back of the border, and it produces this lovely waft of lovely daisy-like flowers, but much taller than the Erigeron karvinskianus. It's very similar in terms of flowering potential as Erigeron karvinskianus. Once we get those flowers, you have this profusion of lovely daisy flowers, which again the pollinators adore. So I've got lots and lots of seeds that I collected from this last year, and again the seed is going to be quite a flyaway seed, and it's one of those plants that when you see it kind of going over, you've got to get in there really quick, because a little gust of wind and your seed's gone. You've got to be really careful. So I'm hoping that I've got seed in here and not just a load of petal, because it can be very difficult to get the seeds out. I have got quite a big clump. I don't want to get that much out, I don't think. So that's plenty. So the seed looks very similar to the other one I've just sown. And what we need to do with this is just sow quite thinly over the surface of the compost. I'm being quite liberal, because like I say, I'm not sure if this is all seed or petals and seeds. I just took what I could at the time in the hope that I've got at least some seed. And then again, just cover them up with a layer of vermiculite. There we go. So I'm going to get these watered, but I'm going to put these in a tray of water and just pop them in, and then the water will be drawn up through the base. I don't want to be watering the top because that's going to scatter the seeds everywhere. I don't want that. And then I just need to write another label so we know which one is which. So that's 2 lots of Erigeron seeds that we've sown today. And one, the Erigeron karvinskianus, is perfect for containers, for rockeries, for frontal borders if you want to do that, trailing over walls. And the other one, its larger cousin, Erigeron annuus, is suitable for the border. It does get very tall, and it's more like a wildflower, so it's really good mingling with different other perennials that are tall, like perennial grasses for example as well. When these plants get large enough to handle, we'll then be transplanting these into individual modules to grow on, or small pots, and then from that point onwards we can then get these planted into the garden in a few months' time. They are pretty quick growing once they start to grow, and we should be getting flowers on these this year. So if you've not sown them already, get them sown. I'm going to provide a little bit of cover for these, so I'm going to put them in the mini greenhouse. They don't need any protection from frost. It's just a case of I don't want these to be over waterlogged by too much rain, and I also don't want any of our squirrels digging them out. Most of you will probably be very familiar with the Erigeron karvinskianus, but the Erigeron annuus is also not one to be overlooked. Now I will just give you a warning, these can be quite prolific self-seeders, so if you do sow them, just bear that in mind, that they will self-seed everywhere. So we've got lots of ideas to place these around the garden, particularly with the Erigeron karvinskianus, which we're going to grow alongside other plants in containers too. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you found this video enjoyable and informative. If you have any comments, please put them in the comments box below. Please give us a like, please also subscribe, and we'll see you very soon on the next video. In the meantime, please do take care and happy seed sowing.